morning, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Grim Crone. This is Kim. Has been quite some time since I've put out any content. Life's been a tad busy. Work has been really busy. But I've got a couple of days leave and I just need some downtime. And I thought this would be a perfect time to make a new video. So this one we're going to literally be looking at the weekly vibe. What I'm going to do first and foremost, I've just had a look at what the astrological placements for today is, just to give us a little bit more direction towards our reading. And today is Monday, the 27th of October, and it is 9:23 a.m. here in a very miserable UK. All right, so if we have a look at the overall astrological or planetary vibe for today, we can see that there is a blend of ambitious drive and grounded focus. There could be a few emotional speed bumps along the way, but it is a day when the cosmos pushes us to grow and also reminds us to pace ourselves and stay true to our values. The first placement we have today is the moon in Capricorn, and it is in a waxing crescent phase, which is quite interesting because I was actually born under a waxing crescent phase and my sun is in Capricorn. So as the moon moves through Capricorn, it urges us to get serious about our goals. This is practical, structured energy and is ideal for setting intentions, committing to routines, and making real-world progress on spiritual or career matters. You might feel more emotionally reserved, but determined to get things done. So it doesn't surprise me that there is sort of a career focus here with it being Moon in Capricorn. So Moon in Capricorn is really good for long-term planning, business decisions, organization, spell work for manifestation, and also stability. What we do need to watch out for, though, is emotional detachment or being too hard on ourselves or too hard on other people. The next aspect we have today is Mars trine Jupiter. So this is a major highlight for today, and it is a beautiful, energizing trine between Mars, which is about action and courage, and Jupiter, which is about growth and abundance or expansion. This is motivational magic. Confidence, momentum, and opportunity align. So it's really, really good for putting in a little bit of effort to take a leap of faith, to start something new, promote your work, your art, or to say yes to something that excites you. And a mantra that you can say today to help urge this energy in your direction is, I act boldly and trust the universe to meet me halfway. So yes, you're prepared to put in the effort and the universe is prepared to put in the effort, and together that just makes pure motivational magic. Our third aspect is Mercury trine Saturn. So where Mars and Jupiter gives energy, Mercury Saturn gives focus. This aspect supports disciplined thinking, serious conversations, and clear strategy. It's perfect for writing, studying, contracts, or putting structure behind your dreams. It's good for business planning, journaling, script writing, or refining your social media vision. The next aspect we have is Sun square Jupiter. Now this one carries a little bit of a cautionary note. This aspect can make us overconfident or make us overextend ourselves. I mean, when you've got all this wonderful energy floating around you, we tend to, overextension is it's just a matter of recourse, because it's a case of, I've got all this abundance, let me just throw all the things at it. So be very careful about promising too much or taking on too many projects, and whatever you do, don't inflate anyone else's expectations, especially not your own. Stay optimistic, but keep your plans realistic and grounded. Things to watch out for today with this Sun square Jupiter are ego clashes, exaggerated optimism, or burnout from trying to do it all. So hold back that kitchen sink, guys. The next one is Moon square Venus. So it's quite a busy day today out there, isn't it? So emotionally, this brings with it tension between duty and desire, which we can see with the Sun square Jupiter as well. Work versus comfort, goals versus love. You may crave affection, but also need solitude to focus. Be kind to yourself and others today. Not every feeling needs to be acted upon. This is a really good aspect for reflection on emotional balance and boundaries in relationships, and I would say boundaries with that possibility of overextension as well. So the elemental mood today is our dominant element is Earth, obviously with Capricorn there, which is practical, grounded, and productive. And your supporting element is fire, which is motivation, action, and drive. So together, when you put earth and fire together, you have manifestation through effort. Magic meets method. Good crystals to work with today, and I've actually got a few over here on my table. I've got 2 pieces of smoky quartz. This is really good for grounding. And I've also got a piece of smoky citrine as well. Now this one, unfortunately, I don't have a torch up here, so I could show you all the rutils in there. It's got some beautiful copper threads running through it. So citrine is for fire. Smoky quartz, of course, is earth and for grounding. Other crystals that you may want to work with today are things like bumblebee jasper, and orchid calcite. It is such a pity my camera washes colour out so badly. That orchid calcite is absolutely gorgeous. All right, so that is what we can expect from a planetary aspect. Now what I want to do is I want to pull a couple of cards so we can just get a little bit of feeling, and this will not just be for today. This will stretch, I think, for the entire week, really. I'm just going to pull 5 tarot cards, and then I've got a whole box of oracle decks that we're also going to pull out just to get additional messages and information from. Right. So at the center we've got the Ten of Cups, stunning. And this is more focused on where we've come from, and this side is pretty much where we're going. Oh, love to see that King of Wands there. Now, it is interesting that we don't have any pentacles in this reading. We do have wands, cups, and 1 pack of swords. Right. Okay, guys, just bear with me a moment. I'm just taking a quick sip and a puff. I hope you guys are all well. I know the world is a little mad at the moment, has been for a couple of years. But yeah, let's get some guidance how we can work with this. So I'm really happy to see the Ten of Cups at the center of this reading. The Ten of Cups is that culmination of having worked towards something. Tens are a close of something, and Cups is an emotional related card. So it errs on the side of our water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. But if we have a look at what if we go back a little bit and we have a look at what we see in our most recent past, we've got the 8 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. And I feel that the energy here is, especially with the astrology vibe that I've just read to you as well, there are some things that we need to walk away from in order to progress forward and to find our fulfillment, which is within the 4 of Wands. And I think today is a really important day for us to take that time to work with the energies that surround us, to not just focus everything onto the action and the doing, but also to take a quiet moment just to reflect on where have we been overextending ourselves? Where haven't we had those boundaries up that we need? Where have we maybe fallen a little bit short so that we can actually comfortably reach this Ten of Cups aspect. The Four of Wands tells me that you've dealt with a lot, you've walked away from a lot, and you have found a modicum of peace. But the Four of Wands is a minor arcana card. I would have preferred to have seen a major arcana there to give me more of a sense of finalization or completion. So what this tells me is there's still some work that needs to be done in these areas. The Six of Swords is also a card of moving out of a certain level of energy and moving off into something that is a little bit smoother. And what I love about this particular card in this deck, this is the Light Seers, is we've got those ravens pulling that boat to shore, pulling her to safety. So as much as you may have been quite a standalone lone wolf in the past, the rest of the cards are giving me more than one sentient being in them, if I could put it that way, because in this case we've got the ravens and we've got the lion as well. And it's saying to me that perhaps something that you do need to focus or consider is opening yourself up more to help. If you're one of these people who believes that they need to do everything themselves all the time, sometimes, you know what, we do have to kind of just step back and allow somebody else to step into that leadership role to help us. It's not to take that leadership away from us or to take that sovereignty away from us, but it is just to provide that little bit of additional help that could be the difference between success and failure, especially when we are doing a lot of work on ourselves. So somebody might come to the fore this week, maybe even today, with this being, mostly focused on today's energies. But somebody may come to the fore today that is going to hold out their hand and offer you guidance, advice, or assistance. And my advice to you would be for you to accept that and accept it with grace. And as we get to the end of the tarot, we've got the King of Wands, which is basically a very nice closure. Here we see somebody walking in that direction with their back to us, and here we've got the King of Wands straight looking directly at us, essentially, with a line in the background, which tells me that through this process you will walk into and you will step into your own sovereignty and your own self-empowerment. So use the energies that are floating around there in the cosmos today, all those planetary aspects that we read out, all those trines and the squares and all the things. Utilize the good with the bad. Understand that not everything is going to be smooth sailing. There are going to be a few dips and dinks in the way. There was a cautionary tale. Let me just get my notes back here. There was a cautionary note about us being overconfident or overextending. And it's actually quite interesting because if you think of the King of Wands, there is the potential there with the lion or the Leo in the background for us to be just a tad overconfident and potentially, putting ourselves into positions where we could end up with those ego clashes or some form of burnout. So I feel that if you just follow a very kind of, easy, confident step through this week, understand that there are things that need to be done, but be mindful and, almost like drawing up a plan of action. Give yourself preset boundaries, if you will, so that you can best work and you won't overstep or overextend and then end up in a place at the end of the week where you're absolutely exhausted. All right, let's grab a few oracle cards just to give us a little bit more depth. A veil of mystery surrounds you. Embrace the enchantment. Love that. And then this one is Okay, this is a bit of a funny deck. It kind of looks at serious issues, but puts like its own comedic slant on it, if you will. And you know, sometimes I feel we need to laugh a little. We do need to laugh a little. Crying in the shower, isolation, breakdown, vulnerability. Now, it's interesting that I've put this straight under the Eight of Cups. Perhaps this is a place where you've come from, where you have been in a place of isolation for some time, and at some point in the very recent past, you decided to break out of that and move into a more proactive state of mind. So I feel that this is definitely something for the past. It's not a current situation. What else do we want? What cards are these? Okay, here's a journaling prompt for you. Okay. The stormy sea. What emotions feel overwhelming right now? How can you steady yourself amidst the waves? And I feel that this is a place where you've been, and you've probably been doing a fair amount of work, you know, getting yourself or breaking yourself out of this self-imposed state of isolation. And the stormy sea, I feel that if these cards weren't here, I should have actually put it over there, because here you are coming out of that, but you're not completely there yet. I mean, the whole idea is to reach this pinnacle of the Ten of Cups. And I feel that we talked about journaling earlier, and I think if you want to use this, I'm just going to hold it up, sorry, so you can see it better. If you want to use that as a journal prompt and make a few notes for yourself, and look back at your past, at your history, and where you've come from, and write down all those things that you have moved past, all the things that you have successfully moved past from, and use that as a stepping stone, or to wind through with your journal writing. Go, this is where I've started, these are the things that I did, and this is where I am today, and this is where I want to be at the end of this process. Okay, I also want to get one card from here. So we've got Chrysocolla, banish fear and anger to encourage spiritual growth. I'm going to, won't really see it there, I'm going to put it over here, because I feel that this has all got to do with this Eight of Cups, something that you've walked away from in the past. Let me actually just move these decks over here so that I can put cards down if I feel it is needed. All right, I'm also going to pull a card from this deck. This is a Egyptian cat oracle. The priestess cat. Trust the sacred knowledge within you. Stillness and intuition are your greatest tools right now. Now, that is quite interesting that it refers to stillness, because this, with the planetary aspects, there's a lot of action, a lot of manifestation. But I did say earlier that it would be a really good idea to just take some quiet time as well. And I think this is where the grounding aspect of the planetary aspects come in. Take that time out. Do those bits of journaling, and respect and appreciate and show that gratitude within your journal writings about where you've come from, how you have been progressing, and at what stage you are in now. And then the last deck that I want to pull a card from is the Witch Tools Magic. And this, for me, would be a good bit of guidance as to what you should be working with, whether it be tarot readings, crystals, books of shadows, it'll be quite interesting to see what form of spiritual work you should be applying to your situation for this week. And I'm actually going to shuffle till something comes out. There it is. Okay, just bear with me. Let me go find it. Oh. And you have got the chalice. And that is quite interesting. It says, embrace the flow of emotions, find balance in your spiritual practice. And, you know, again, if we talk about this flow of where you've been and how you've been progressing, it is going to bring up a fair amount of emotional feelings during this process. I mean, when we're doing any kind of healing work, there is always emotions attached to it. And with, just going back to my notes here, Moon square Venus, emotionally this brings tension between duty and desire. So again, you know, you've got this dichotomy of craving affection but also needing solitude to focus. This is a time to be kind to yourself and to others. Not every feeling needs to be acted upon today. So be aware of the feelings, be aware of all the emotions that you know, that this roller coaster of emotions that you've probably been through in the last while, and use that as your catalyst for change or for transformation. We are the sum of our experiences, and we have to take the good with the bad with the good. So we can't always be in a high state of higher functioning all the time. You know, there are times where we are going to be at a low point. And I feel that this is a really good week for you to ground yourself within your journey, acknowledging, showing respect and gratitude to the lessons that you've learned along the way, and learning to leave them behind you as you move forward into this High Priestess, this Ten of Cups, and this King of Wands energy. That's absolutely brilliant. And I've also got a daily spell or ritual suggestion for you here. So we're going to call this a Grow with Grounding. It's candle working. I love working with candles. Candles and crystals and tarot are pretty much my favorite things. So what you need is a brown or a dark green candle, something that speaks to the earth element to you. If you've got patchouli or cinnamon oil, then anoint your candle with that. Place a piece of pyrite or citrine next to the candle. Now pyrite, I've actually got some pyrite on my little altar here. Okay, with me it's mostly skulls. And a little piece of citrine. Oops, I've just hit my mic with my glasses. Sorry if that made a racket. And then speak your intention for growth that lasts. You're not looking for fleeting wins here. You are looking for the culmination of what you have lost, what you have worked on, all the things that you've done for you to achieve this state. You don't want it to be a fleeting win. You don't want to go through this again in 6 months' time. So speak your intention, the intention that will bring something tangible towards you to show you that you have grown and that you have transformed through this process, that you have learned the lesson, you've moved through the lesson, and you are now at the end of this particular lesson. Believe me, it doesn't stop here. There'll be a new lesson in no short order. It's just the way it goes. We're always moving, and we're always growing, and we're always learning. And I find that in order for us to move to the next stage of growth, we need to close out the previous aspect first. And I think that this is a good part of what this particular the tarot and oracle cards are telling us. So remember, our dominant element for this week is earth, which is practical, grounded, and productive. Our supporting element is fire, which is motivation, action, and drive. And this is manifestation through effort. But you also need to find that time just to reflect on your emotional balance and your boundaries, specifically in relationships. All right, beautiful souls, I hope that provided you with a little bit of guidance for this week. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments if this works for you. And if it's something that really did work for you, give us a green heart in the comments, just to claim this reading, if you will. And if you are so inclined, my channel is very small. If you'd like to show a little bit of support, give us a like. And if you feel my content is something you'd like to listen to in the future, please do give us a subscribe as well. Thank you so very much. Have an absolutely amazing week. Stay blessed. Thank you for your time and energy as always. Peace out.